Hi, so with this video, I'm going to try to answer some of the frequently asked questions that I have been getting with regard to the Japa system to help you make an informed decision. So the first question here is, does this work for other countries? And the answer is yes, it works for other countries. Can I purchase with someone else? No, because we give support to one person to one Japa system. So if your sister, brother, a cousin or friend also wants to get support from us, they also need to get their own copy of the Japa system. And we don't advise you to share your link or your access with someone else because it's tied to your own IP address and your own email address. And if we find out that you're sharing your link, we're going to be removing you from the Japa system and you won't be added back and you're not going to get any refund for the monies you've paid. Okay, so how much do I need to have? I have added this slide in the main video, but I thought I might have to repeat it here because it's a very important question. So this is a snapshot of how much you need to have. If you don't have funding, then you need to show all these monies. If you have scholarship, then you take out the amount of scholarship that you have, and then you show the rest. If you receive funding and it does not cover living expenses, you still need to show funds for living expenses. Can I still apply to study now? So I don't know at what time you might be watching this, but universities and colleges usually have two main terms, which is the fall term, which is in September, and the winter term, which is in January. Some schools also have summer terms, which is in May, but that's not very popular. So the way universities work is that they open up admissions for fall, for example, in like October. So, and for winter, they open also in October, some schools, or some schools open up in April. So which means that if you wanted to come to Canada in September, to start in September of 1 year, let's say 2050, that means in 2049 of October, they would have opened up applications. You can start applying in October up until about February. So most schools end in February. A couple of schools still go into March and very few schools April, but it's better for you if you can to apply as early as you can, and for the schools that have a February close. Now, the reason why I say this is because universities usually would wait to get all the applications before making a decision. So if their closing time is February 15th, for example, and you applied in October, you would not hear from them until after February 15th, okay? So you need to know this. Then for colleges, they actually take people on a running basis, yeah, as long as they have seats open. So you can start applying for the fall term in a college from like October, and usually they would respond faster than universities because they do not wait to get all the applications. They take people on a rolling basis, okay, until their seats are full. Note that for colleges, usually the competitive programs, the seats get full as well on time. So it's best you apply as early as possible. So no matter when you are seeing this video, even if it's at a time when probably a term is not open or is going to open soon, I advise you to get the Japa system now for about 4 reasons. Number one, the Japa system price may change anytime, yeah, without warning. Of course, you need time to study the materials, familiarize yourself with the process because it is a detailed process. So you need to know what you're doing. The earlier you apply for the upcoming term, the better for you. It's always better to apply early to get a seat, you understand? So you know that, you have your letter of admission and you can move forward. And then you also know what you need for visa application. So you start putting your house in order on time. I don't want to study. Can't I just come to Canada to work? Of course, you can come to Canada to work if you can get a job in Canada. If you can get a job in Canada, you can actually apply for a work permit, yeah? But as at the time I'm making this video, Canada is not processing work permits or the express entry for people who are outside of Canada. And then there are several reasons. Number one is because of the COVID, number two, because of backlog, and number three, because they are trying to change the modalities for the express entry as well. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but it's likely they might change it to an occupation only type of express entry, which will make it more difficult for people to come into Canada. So whether you want to study or not, I mean, if you can study, it is advisable that you come into Canada to study and then use that as a route to permanent residence. That is the easiest way. I mean, I'm giving you soap now. That's the easiest way to get into Canada at this time, okay? Hopefully, I hear maybe later in here, they will be able to open up those other routes, but I can't say specifically for now. I want funding or scholarship. What are my chances? Now, there's a difference between funding and scholarship. Funding is when a university like takes up the responsibility for your tuition, yeah, and then you don't have to pay tuition. Scholarship is when they are just giving you some money to offset your cost of study, not actually covering your tuition, just some money, and usually it's based on high academic performance or some other performance. Funding is available for thesis or research programs mostly. I know there are some programs like the environmental sustainability that also gives funding for cost-based and project-based work, but in the most part, it is for thesis and research programs. Now, a lot of schools have entrance scholarships, including colleges, for high performance for all programs. You don't have to do anything to apply for those scholarships. They give it to those who have like 75% or more in their GPA or WAEC results when they are entering. If it's for diploma, you don't have to apply separately. It will be in your letter of admission. It is few and far between because not a lot of people meet those requirements. Okay. PGD, which is postgraduate diploma and postgraduate certificates, do not have full funding. And the simple reason is because they are not thesis or research programs, okay? But they do have scholarships for those who qualify. So it's not a blanket statement that you would definitely get scholarship with a PGD or a PGC. It's not like very likely, but there's a chance if your performance is really high. Now, there are other scholarships you get when you're a student. So if you come into a school, there are scholarships available for people who are current students, and a lot of them are also related to high academic performance. So you really need to like sit up, do your work well, get very high scores, and you'll be able to get some of these scholarships. What should I study and in what school? Now, this is a decision that you would need to take. We have tools that can help you make that decision in terms of what to study and what school you go to. But it will have to be something that's related to something you've done before. Okay, so you couldn't have done business admin, you're working in a bank and you want to come to Canada to study nursing, it will probably not work. S plus Y years older, I graduated 10 years ago. Now, when you graduated doesn't matter in most cases. I admit there are a few colleges that say they don't take people with a 5-year gap. And the reason why they say that, they advise you know that they don't take it. They feel that it will be difficult for you to get visa. And you would usually see that warning on the program page. There are a lot of people who are coming to those same schools who had like 10 years gaps or more than 5 years gap. So that is not really a program. There are a lot of schools who also don't care the amount of gap you have in your education. The most important thing is that you want to study and you're qualified to study. So age is not really a problem, except you are probably retired and haven't been doing anything in the last few years. Then there might just be no reason you have for coming to study. But if you're whatever age and you're engaged in probably work or business, you can actually come to Canada to study. I have HND 2 to third class. Can I do a master's degree? Generally, if you have a HND 2 to a third class, you can't do a master's degree. And the reason is because a lot of schools have certain level of GPA for master's degree. Now, there are some schools that will take the last 2 years, your GPA for the last 2 years. And if you actually do meet the level for the last 2, with just your last 2 years GPA, they will take you. HND is usually not recognized as a bachelor's. So they would have to do a PGD or a PGC. But there are a few schools, and we're going to be sieving out those schools and putting it in the Japa system that will take an HND, especially for a business program. I have a national diploma. Can I use the Japa system? Yes, you can. You can actually go and do an advanced diploma. Does this work for undergraduates? It does work for undergraduates. So we have a module in there for undergraduates to also use to apply, show them what they need to have to apply as well. Now, when I say undergraduates, I usually prefer undergraduates who are in their 20s and below. If you're more than that, then it will usually be difficult for you to get visas. It's not impossible, but it will be difficult. Can I sponsor my child and go with them? Short answer, no. You understand? Because your child is the one that's studying. You can actually get a visitor's visas to visit them or to just accompany them and come back, but you can't live in Canada just because your child is studying there. Do I need to do the IELTS? Generally, no. Yeah, but if you go to the program page of a lot of schools, you would see the requirements of IELTS. Some of them will indicate if required. Some of them will indicate that it's not required for those who went to an English-speaking country, but even if they didn't, it's advisable for you to contact the school and say you went to an English-speaking country and you want a waiver for IELTS. Does the Japa system cover visa processing? Yes. So we show you how to apply for visas, the documents you need. It does cover visa processing. I am a registered nurse. Will this work for me? Sorry, that's a typo. Yes, it will work for you if you're a registered nurse. If you're a lawyer, it will work for you. There are actually programs you can go and do. Even if you're a registered nurse, you can actually do a postgraduate program in nursing. What about postdoc? Does the Japa system apply to me? So if you are a postdoc, or if you're looking for a postdoc position, you're not coming to study, you're actually coming to work or do research. So it's not covered by the Japa system. There are ways to look for a postdoc position, which I can share, but I didn't put it in the Japa system because there would actually be no need for you to buy the entire Japa system just for a postdoc position. So you might actually contact me. Postdocs are considered as work. Yeah. So just like the rest of the other routes that are paused, you might not be able to get your work permit on time to come to Canada to work. But of course, you can get a postdoc position and wait until those work visas open up. Can I travel with my family? Um, yes and no. You can travel with your family, depending on the structure of your family. Of course, if you had a baby and you were a woman and you had a nursing child, you can actually come with your family. But I would usually advise that the student actually comes to Canada and then invites their family to join them. The PGD gets permanent residence. So if you do a postgraduate diploma, a postgraduate certificate, which is 1 year, you would still get permanent residence. Okay, so as long as your study is more than 8 months, which is like 2 terms, and it's not like a professional study or just vocational, you can get permanent residence. I have been denied visa before. Will the Japa system help? Definitely will help if you have been denied visa before. Will you do the process for me? So usually we don't, because this is a help yourself, kind of do it yourself program. But if you come into the Japa system and you see that you don't have the time or you really cannot do it, we do have services to help you complete the process. Will I have access to you? Yes, when you get the Japa system, you have access to me, you have access to my team as well. So my contact details, our email address is in the Japa system. And once you get in there, I advise you to go through the materials and then contact us if you need help, guidance, and all that. So will this work for me? Well, you tell me. I should be asking you, will it work for you? Do you meet the requirements? Are you ready to do what it takes? Do you believe it will work for you? So I am that kind of person who believes that if you believe something will work for you, it will. If you believe it won't, it won't. So it's actually in your hands and the ball is in your court. So the question now is, how much do you really want it? Like I said in the main video, the action that you take later or after watching this will depend on how much you want it. But please make an informed decision, because all sales are final. You do not get a refund if you now come back and say, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't know this. That's why I've tried to answer most of the frequently asked questions that I get. So if you need clarification, go back and watch this video. So the truth is, Canada needs you. Yeah, it's the truth. Canada does need people. Canada does need you. Canada wants people from Africa to come. And the study route is for sure the easiest way to migrate to Canada. It is the easiest and most accessible. So if you meet the requirements, start your Canada journey today. Okay. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much and take care. Bye.